Welcome to Durva Astro Council. A very happy new year and happy Navratri to all those who are celebrating. Today's topic is a more serious topic. We are going to discuss the imprints of generational karmas in our birth chart. I've seen that a lot of astrologers will be very blunt about this. They will say that someone in your past generations has done something wrong, and that is why you are suffering now. And it is true that your chart will show if any past generations have done something wrong. However, this thing has to be understood well by whoever is getting a chart read and whoever is having any problems. Um, Unless you yourself, your own soul, has not done anything wrong in your past births, you will not be born in a family which has done similar kind of misdeeds. So just saying that your past generations are responsible for this is not correct. Secondly, you do need to understand these things. You do need to understand your ancestral karma and what your birth chart shows so that you can break the chain. Because in a lot of charts that I've read, you will see that the same kinds of situations arise every 1 or 2 generations. And unless you are aware of some burden that your ancestry has been carrying, you will not be able to break the chain. Um, there is a saying that a lot of elders in my family would say, and they don't say it based on astrology or anything, but it's a very wise saying, I believe, that one generation works really, really hard and they don't enjoy much. That is when the next generation is able to enjoy. It is something like that. If you look at your chart, we know that the most important houses are the first house, the fifth house, and the ninth house. Now, the ninth house is the house of Bhagya. This house is also the significator of your father. Then the fifth house is the house of Purva Punya. That means what are the good deeds that your soul has done in its past incarnations that you will be able to enjoy, or what are the bad deeds that your soul has done which you will have to suffer. And the last and most important house in this trine is the first house, which is yourself. This is your entire reality. This is what is the anchor of your life. This is where the story of your life can actually be told from just by your ascendant. And this house actually represents your great grandfather. So you see that your entire reality is so closely related to your great grandfather. Your bhagya is related to your father. Your purva punya is related to your grandfather. In the same way, all the houses in your chart, which are manifesting in different areas of your life, are related to your relatives, to your friends, to your mother, to your grandmother, to your cousins, to your uncles, and so on. So, this is how these karmas of your family also impact you. And now, once you understand these things, first of all, as I said, it's not to blame anyone. It is not to go and, break your ties with anyone. It is important for you to understand that people around you are doing or have done some things in the past, and it is about you to change this trend. So it is up to you to make sure that these curses and doshas get solved with you, or at least you bring a realization of this thing in your family, in the people around you, to start improving this. One really a learned astrologer told me that if you see these doshas and if you see the charts of the son, the daughter, the father, the grandfather, and so on, you will see that the same problem will appear in every generation. And at some point, this combination will break, and that is when that family has gotten rid of this dosha. Now, I'll give you some examples of these things. For example, if someone has Venus afflictions, now Venus is women, and if Venus is afflicted, let's say by Rahu or by Mars, by harsh planets, these families would have done something to cause problems to women in their family. Now, in past, let's say 40-50 years, society has progressed a lot, and most families will not see anything like this. So we would feel that no, we are very progressive, we are very modern, and we've never done anything wrong. But if you go in your family history, if you go to your grandfather, your great grandfather's time, um, there would be something. And Again, it is not to blame, but to understand that this thing has happened in your family before. And Whenever you get a chance, you have to first stop it, and not only stop it, but you have to atone for whatever wrong has been done. And unless you do that, Venus afflictions, what they will do, Venus afflictions will cause problems in marriages. Venus afflictions will cause problems in getting luxuries of life. And when I say problems or something wrong has been done, in for example, in one of my readings, I've seen that this family has not given the due share of land, for example, to their daughters in past many generations. So that is a trend, and that happens very very often, especially in India. Then another example I'll give is from one chart that I saw. Their Mercury was badly inflicted. When Mercury is afflicted, that means something wrong has been done with small children. It can be small girls. And when I asked them, it turns out that at least not in past couple of generations, but before that, their family was continuously participating in female infanticide. This was something that happened a lot in India, and now although it has stopped, but the curse has not been removed from this chart. And in past two generations, girls have been treated very well, and this practice has not been followed, but the curse still remains. That means the misdeed, the bad karma that was acquired by this family was much bigger than now doing the right thing. So now this family, what they need to do is provide for a girl child. They have to go to girls' orphanages or girls' schools, and they have to donate there. They have to help them out and atone for what has been done in their past lives. Um, so this is how these curses or whatever you call them manifest. Another example that I can give is Jupiter being afflicted. So in a lot of charts I see that Jupiter is afflicted. Now these people are very nice people. They've not done anything wrong. They believe in God, good karmas and everything. But the problem here is that these families are always looking to astrologers or to pundits or to advisors of some sort to get help, and they're never paying them because they don't respect the knowledge. So when someone's family does not respect knowledge, especially spiritual knowledge, their Jupiter will be afflicted. So this is how these things show up in charts. So now, last thing that I will want to talk about is, we don't talk about these things, these generational impacts, these generational karmas so much. However, whenever a Hindu puja is done, whenever any dosh nivaran puja is done, then you would see that a person not only takes their own name in the sankalpa, but they also take the name of their father, of their grandfather maybe, and their gotra, and their village. So this way, what is happening is when you do a puja, when you do a sankalpa, what you do is you ask for mercy and forgiveness of all the bad karmas that has been done by even your past generations. And why is this important? Because you can't cut yourself off from them. So I hope that I was able to make this concept clear. I don't want anyone to be scared of this. I just want everyone to understand that this is how it happens, and this is the most easy way. So I know that a lot of people claim to do past life readings and everything, and I know that it is possible. But this, knowing your ancestral karma is the most verifiable way of knowing your past life karma. Because if I tell you that in your past life you have murdered somebody, there is no way that you can verify this. But if you can tell if something like that has happened in your ancestry, then 100% sure that that has happened in your past life also, because that is why you took birth in this family. Now, uh, why you should not worry about it is because once you choose to understand this, once you choose to know your family history, once you choose to forgive people who have done this, then you also deserve forgiveness. So this is very important, that if you know someone has done something wrong and if you are able to forgive, then that means you are understanding that forgiveness is important, and that is only when you will get forgiveness for any bad deeds that you have done in your past lives or now. Second of all, I've seen people who have had this kind of combinations and they've completely turned around these curses in their chart. So I'll tell you one example where this girl who I knew, her chart showed some wrong things that had been done with women in her family. She confirmed that there was a death of a woman in one generation ago in her family, and it might have been something which came out of a domestic violence situation, of a family dispute situation. But this lady, she was able to turn this around entirely. How? She is now a lawyer, and she takes cases of domestic violence. She's a fierce feminist and she helps women who are in need. So this way, what she's done is she's completely turned around what was there in her chart, and she has broken this dosha which has been in their generations. This problem in her chart was through Rahu. And if you've heard about Ma Durga's stories and stotras, you would see that a lot of times many demons come to her, being disrespectful and calling her weak and trying to hurt her, but she finally defeats them and now they become her protectors. So that is how this turnaround of this problem in her chart had happened. So I hope that this topic and this discussion is useful to you, and you are able to understand these concepts. And if someone tells you something about your ancestors, you should not hate them, you should not blame them, you should just ask for forgiveness. You should just try to remedy this, not just by the pujas and the small remedies that astrologer gives you, but also by actively reversing the harm that has been done to any section of society. I know I've taken a lot of examples of wrongs that have been done with women or with children, but these can be different things. These can be something wrong that's been done with animals, or something wrong that's been done with poor people, weaker sections of society. But to understand these things, you first need to know your past generations, and secondly, you need to understand your chart as well. These things can really put a huge block on someone's life. You can come across a lot of obstacles in your life because of these things. So I strongly recommend that these doshas and these curses should be read and understood if you have your chart. But thank you so much for listening, and keep reading my posts. If there's something serious like this, I will try to make a video. Namaste.